All right. Good morning. Happy Saturday. All right, we are good there. Let's do the usual setup. So, welcome. Neat little clueometer there. Pedometer. So, first of all, welcome if you are new and you don't know. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord, and I stream usually at this time each week, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Time, working on some stuff related to CircuitPython. If you don't know what CircuitPython is, you can learn more at the main website for it, circuitpython.org. This is basically a version of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. Typically, you will plug these things into your computer with a USB cable. They show up like a thumb drive, and you can edit the Python code file that's on that thumb drive. And when you save it, the microcontroller, the computer in these little chips, it will actually execute that Python code for you. And then there are, as you can see on this page, all sorts of different ones of these microcontrollers. They come in different shapes and sizes and different built-in peripherals and purposes and things like that. So that is what CircuitPython is all about. As always, huge thanks to Adafruit. Adafruit is a hardware and software company based out of New York. They design and manufacture not only CircuitPython devices, CircuitPython microcontrollers, but also all sorts of other stuff that you can plug into your microcontrollers, breakouts and sensors, buttons and lights and all sorts of things, essentially anything that you could want to hook up to electronics, make fun projects. And they make CircuitPython possible by paying myself and the rest of the team of folks who work on CircuitPython regularly. So thanks to them. And if you want to help support CircuitPython, one of the easiest ways to do it is by purchasing hardware from them. So I am jumping in this morning, kind of wrapping up some of the stuff that I have been working on the last couple of days, which is converting the libraries, the CircuitPython libraries, to use Ruff, the linting and formatting tool. So I have a couple of PRs that either failed or that I wanted to take a second look at. We're going to do those, and then we'll see how long that takes. Try to get these worked out, and then as long as that doesn't take too long, the next thing I want to do is make the release for the libraries that have been updated but not released yet, which is a chunk of them. And then after that, there is another little expedition we can go on. A few of them returned some strange URLs from one of the scripts that I was using to identify all the ones that needed this update, and I suspect ultimately what it means is they have the wrong value for the name inside their pyproject.toml, but it will take a little bit of investigating, basically, to figure out which ones they are, since the URL was non-specific. But the first one that I'm going to jump into is here in HTTP server, and it failed the actions for this, and I think it was the docs build that failed, and it's something about the line numbers are out of spec. So I will open this up locally. I don't have it cloned. Oops. This one open. So we just pulled that. We want to get the branch from the PR. Actually, it's in here, so we can just do this. will be helpful when we want to go and push to it. So if I just go to the docs, try to build them, this way. Only one error. I thought there were two there. Maybe it just repeated or something. So starting methods. For one thing, there's two RSTs, which is odd. RST and 23. I think what's happened here is that so these have all of these emphasized lines, and I think that they are wrong now. So the next thing actually we should pull up is the real docs. And try to find the page where that stuff is at. So that's a starting method. Well, that's only one of them, although that does have a number of these things. Samples? Different ways of starting the server. Okay. So we need to get back to this. We want to have the same lines highlighted, effectively. Not the same line numbers, but the same content. Okay. And basically what happened is the examples, which these are pointing to, changed. Therefore, the line numbers are different. This is in an odd order, though, because the first one here says manual Wi-Fi, but this first one here says the server. Okay, maybe this is the page we're looking at the RST file for. Okay, manual Wi-Fi, so basically Wi-Fi password up to pool we want. And that used to be 10 to 17. Let's take a look at the file. Manual Wi-Fi. It was 10 to 17. Yeah, that one's fine still. Are on use Ruff, so that should be okay. Manual AP access point. So that has two. Is there a bottom? No, there's no bottom. That's interesting. Interesting that this is not highlighted here, but is highlighted here. Anyway, manual AP. This one, 11 to 16, and then 30. So that needs to go up by one. Went only to the print. So it should be 10 to 15. And then instead of 30, I guess it would be probably 29. Yeah. Ethernet. This has two imports. The imports are almost certainly different. It's 9 to 10 for the two imports. They were. So that was WizNet socket and then HTTP server stuff. So WizNet socket is now 7 and then HTTP server is now 10. So those will need to be 7, 10. Then next it was the comment above CS all the way down to socket set interface. There are two CSs, so we want 12 to set interface 24. Then 38 will probably be 37. Automatic Wi-Fi settings, Tommel. Oh, wait, what? I don't know what that means. I guess it means only show 5 lines? Maybe? I'm not sure. If I said that, emphasized 11, which was pool. Auto settings normal 11. It should go down by 1 instead now. Or up by 1. It should be 10 instead of 11. And then, or for socket pool using connection manager. Auto, yeah, okay. So that was connection manager import. That is 6 now, and then it was pool, which is 10. So 6 and 10. What's up, Hassan, my friend over in YouTube? 6 and 10, right. 7, 11. Okay, save those. Let's try to build again. Probably we're gonna need to do more of these. This might build successfully, but I suspect that there will be more that are not right. From example. Yep, so this has emphasized, a lot of emphasized lines going on here. Pretty much, somewhat likely, almost all of them will have to change. It's not necessarily the best mechanism. There's our CPython one. That was the top one on the page we were on before. I guess we could look at the built page and make sure that it looks right. Want to learn Python, need a roadmap. Roadmap. I mean, have you, like, what have you done so far? Yes, or where are you starting from? If you're starting from absolutely nothing, I don't necessarily have a link or anything, but if you are starting from absolutely nothing, I would say try to find a good, like, video tutorial that covers kind of like the basic syntax and variables and loops and if statements and logic, and then practice and like writing functions as well, and practice that stuff a lot is the beginning of my roadmap to learning Python. But like I said, I don't just have a thing to link you, unfortunately. I should find a good intro tutorial thing to be able to link people to. Have some concepts from C++. Okay, so you've got like idea variables and ideas, like the core concepts of programming, loops and logic statements and things like that. If you've got that stuff down, and you know, you feel like you know it all pretty well, I would say you could try to find something more intermediate with Python, like try to find tutorial where they're building a specific thing in Python. If there's anything that interests you, like if you like to build command line tools, then try to find a tutorial where they're building a command line tool with Python. If you like, you know, server stuff, then you could find something that's using Django or Flask or one of the other web servers. If you like kind of low level stuff, you could kind of build the server yourself, just handle the sockets and everything. If you kind of know the core programming concepts, then the main thing you need to learn is the syntax, and the main kind of like pain point might be the white space matters, which is not something that you might be used to coming from other languages. CPython. Oh, I was gonna launch this. Yeah, sorry I don't have a more fleshed out answer, I guess. I got only what I can give you off the top of my head. But my biggest one is practice. Like, frankly, programming is relatively difficult of a task, and it takes a lot of practice. But if you do know the basics of the concepts already, then you're like, I mean, in my mind, Python is easier than C or any language where you have to micromanage the memory or anything. So if you already kind of know the core concepts, Python, it's just about learning the syntax, and I think the syntax is pretty easy, all things considered. But I'm biased because I do work in it all the time. You know anything about the Shor algorithm, quantum computing? I do not. Haven't ventured much into the quantum computing world. Okay. So CPython usage, that's actually fine. We don't need to change anything there. So we have on the right, I have the one that I just built, and on the left we have the live one. Serving static files. So that one is off now by 1, so we do need to fix that. Serving static files. Of course, the tricky part here is I don't know which. Is that in here? Oh, okay, yeah, serving. Okay, so we are there. So that just needs to go -1 on all the numbers. 11 to 17, 22 to 25. And I guess we might as well just build and refresh in between. It only takes a second to build. There we go. Okay. Too bad I can't get these in sync somehow. That would be nice. Same thing here. So it looks like we're going to be doing a lot of -1s. Actually, oh yeah, no. It needs to go as well. Yeah, -1 on both. That's the handle file, serve files. 1221. Go. Nothing highlighted there. Yep, so that one we need -1 as well. What is that? Start and poll. Actually, this is way easier than having the code files open. Close all of these. Way easier. 28 and 37. Oh, that didn't change. Oh, I didn't. Did I not build? I didn't build. Didn't build. Go. Okay, very good. Async IO. So those actually got split. So I guess we'll highlight both of those. So we need to add 6. And then we need to actually move down by 1, get bigger. Interesting. Oh, because we added a line, duh. Yeah, so 5 and 6, and this is what file? This is poll async IO. Oh, right, we don't care about the file anymore. Well, I need to make sure this matches, but beyond that, we don't. So 5 and 6. And then everything else needs to go down by 1. So 34, 43, 46, 51, 56, 63. Build. All right, we have 2 import lines now, and we have handle requests, we have do something useful, we have sleep, we have main, all the way down to run main. All right, very good. DNS, we need to go up by 1. By 11 to 13. Okay. CPU information. Need to go up by 1. Yeah, need to go up by 1. Well, down by 1, I guess. Up the page down in X. On everything? No, not on the import though. Only on the other 17, then 32. All right. Okay, the import's good, but we need to go one bigger for basically everything else. Except this one is way off. What happened here? Guess we just migrated that far. Interesting. Okay, well, import's good, and then 1, 2, 3. Those need to -1. The first one's fine. This is different methods, right? Yep. Methods. Yeah. First one's fine, and then the next 3 need to go down by 1. 18, 25, 29, and then 49 is a weird one. So that to be on if it's delete. That's actually 46 now. Neopixel color. Probably that needs to go -1. Yeah, -1 for data as well. Yeah, -1 on everything. 5, 27, 40, 51, 67, 73. All right, so from the bottom we have pixel fill, request, data, RGB. Very good. Template engine. Might be fine here because I don't think HTML files got touched. The try block, so that's good. Otherwise return, that's fine. Data parsing. That one needs to change. It's like -1 or data form data or form data. This one 31, 46, 49. All right. Ink type posted value. Okay. Cookies. Yum. Need -1. $69, 73, 74, 81. Response. Need a -1 on all of them except the first one. 20, 25, 27. URL parameters. This one. Then this is all wrecked. So let's do a -1 on the first one. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so this used to be split, and now it's one line. We actually need a -1 on the start, and then we can drop it down to only 3 lines, because this is not split anymore. What is this? This is URL parameters. Pass authentication? No. URL parameters. Okay, so -1 to start. So we're start on 29, and then we only need a total of 3. So I guess I don't know if that's inclusive or not. Okay, we need 1 less still. So it is inclusive. And then, yeah, the rest is going to be all wonky as well. Let's just do this one. And then that was 53, 54. Now it needs to be 48, 49. And that was 65, 66. Now it needs to be 60 and 61. Authentication. -1 on everything except the first. Didn't build. One's good. Second one needs to go up by 1. What is this? Authentication handlers. One's good. Second one needs to go up by 1. One needs to go up by 1. And yeah. Okay. 860. All right, redirects needs to go up by 1. Across the board. Oh, let's build. Yeah, this is a lot of, this is a lot. I don't know if these are fully worth the emphasis, but made it this far, so I'm gonna trudge forward, but the next time all of these files get touched, it might be a remove emphasis instead of yellow line numbers. +1 on the import, HTTP server SE 11. 17 is good. That one's good. C63, that one's good. WebSockets. All right, so that needs to change. The first one should be 14 for the import. Sockets 14. 20 needs to be 21. That should be +1. 673. Yeah. +1, both of those as well. 89 and then 100. XML, no, X media replace. So we X mixed rep X mixed replace response. Replace for mixed replace. I guess that's a thing. That needs to be -1. It looks like, and actually the end is minus a couple as well. So -1 on the start. The streaming thing, I guess. So we want to go to 72. Then 92 is going to be 87. Why does Alt-Tab once take me to the browsers and then Alt-Tab again not take me back to the IDE? I don't understand that. Okay. Good there. We're good at the end. We got response. We got... Okay, HTTPS. Need to go up by 1. Need -1 on these. Yeah, -1 on all of these. Multiple servers. Servers. In the beginning, right? Yeah. 12, 13, 15, 16, 19, 27, 35, 36, 47, 58, 53, 50. Debug mode. Last one. Doesn't look like there's any highlights. Alright, that was examples and starting methods. Is there any other inf? No. Yeah, I would not think here. Okay. Alright, I think that's everything. So docs does build. Let's run pre-commit. I don't think anything that cares about changed. Push that, and then while we wait on the actions, BRB, I'm gonna run to the restroom. Okay. Look at the next one. All right, MPY cross failed on this. That's odd. Quick scroll and see if we can't find anything that stands out as problematic syntax. Oh, I think this is it. I'm pretty sure you can't do... I'm pretty sure we cannot do concatenated strings like this. These as well, in fact. So we need to either put those back... Well, they weren't on a single line before. They were using format, and then Ruff tried to change them to F strings. We could use an F string, but it needs to be one long line, or else if it's going to break, it needs to have pluses, but I think Ruff might take the pluses out. We'll see. Okay, this did pass now. So let's also do the review on this one. All right, so the first few files are all basically all the same stuff. So I'm very used to seeing those changes. Imports got reordered, so Ruff puts the imports in alphabetical order, so a lot of these changes are just changing around the order of imports. Removing pylents, disable comments, changing things that were multi-line down to one line. Import order, pylent removal, single lines. Changing tuples to sets, set literal. I don't know if that's like, I mean, I guess that's probably more efficient in CPython, which is why the linter does it. I don't know if it is CircuitPython. In a tuple, you can't add to it or change the values. It's kind of immutable, right? You can make a new one, but set you can add to? I don't know if that means there's more RAM or anything. Set. Import orders. Pylons gone. Single line, single line. Pylent removes. Single line for the value error. Pylent delete. It made it, yeah, it did that change on a couple of them. So I guess for whatever reason, an empty byte string it likes instead of the bytes. Built-in function. Turn that to a set. Oh, right, single line. Okay, I was like, that looks indented wrong, but it's actually one line, right? There's not 296 there, so bytes. Set. Inlet disables gone. Okay. Made it to docs. Then all of our examples. Okay, we just did all of these. Import order. Order imports. Two. Of imports. Turn that to a set. Single line. Single line. Imports. Imports, imports, imports. Island. No. Silence, single lines, turn into a set. The line. Alright, and that is the end because ruff.toml is the last file usually, yeah. So if there's tests, then tests will be later because of the T in the tests folder, but most of them, the ruff.toml file is at the end. Alright, we are good there. Hopefully that's going to be the one that takes the longest. So we'll say that was fairly tedious. So this one we need to just change these strings, I'm pretty sure. Probably don't have this cloned either. Elemento. No. All right, where were those F strings? There's some at 134 in cloth. So, well, they're not F string. Well, I'm on main. Be on. Wait, how does main go? Okay, so actually, interesting. Okay, so normal strings we can. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize. I thought we couldn't do that with normal strings either. But it looks like we can normal strings, just not F strings. Like ultimately, that's a MicroPython parsing thing. F strings are supported, but not all the same syntax from CPython. So I mean, like in terms of Python, I think the code would do the same thing with pluses here. But I think that I don't know if I think Ruff might remove them. Oh, okay. It did not remove them, it just moved them. That's not so bad. Okay. As long as that's the same, I think that's fine. Wrangle a cable here. Yeah, probably. Let's go to. Alright, that's on 927. That's a fine test, I think. That should be fine. So run this and make sure the URL looks okay. Okay, I don't even. That was all about. Not right. We don't have self. Do we need to go and like that? Nice. Okay, well that's convenient. Let's here, I guess. So we don't have these things. So I guess let's say I don't have any idea what these would be. Client ID. That's gonna be 2. Client secret and device code we need. Okay, client secret. Sure. I mean, let's do it like that, I think. Device code. That's gonna be I don't know. And we're just gonna take self off all of these. I don't know if that's, I don't know if those are valid values, but it's gonna restart again. Oh, I didn't put the, yeah. I'll restart it one more time. Make the variables, make the URL, print the URL. Okay. Realistically, I guess we probably shouldn't do this. But that seems fine, I think. And that was compared to the old version, which is going to be annoying to get at this point. Maybe I can copy from here? Sometimes this doesn't, yeah, see, this doesn't like to copy. Oh, it was actually working. Oh, it was not. Need to go top down, I guess. But we're going to have the same problem with all the self. It's kind of a... And just redefine it, I guess. Let's okay. The reason it's blue is because we don't have invalid. The less than greater than actually were invalid URL characters. But basically, that looks the same to me. We're pretty fine with that. We need one more instance of this, I think, right? Here there's just 2 F strings, 177. And I guess it likes it to be at the beginning instead of the end, so we'll do that. Maybe like that. Yeah. Oh, that's not at all what I want. All passed. We could try to build it. I don't really know the right command off the top of my head. The like CircuitPython build bundles. File like library name, library prefix. File name, prefix, and then library location. That just, it says it uses phone name. Bundles, so file name, prefix. Just do this, I guess. Then library location. There's that alt tab again. So alt tab goes to one place, and then if you do it again, it doesn't bring you back. It's throwing me off here. Library location. Dot slash or dot? It's just dot, although it does have a different slash after it. Failed. You mean file name prefix? That's an underscore as well, then. Got an MPY this time. And pre-commit passed, yes. Well, now it's failing because of reuse on the MPY files, but that's fine. I'm going to check those in. That is like fix syntax for MPY build. If that passes. And then the last one is in template engine. I just want to know, does this make a difference? Not sure. We may not, I don't know if, we may not, I'm not sure if I'll need the repo. Maybe. Let's look at the context around it a bit. So that's 783. Need to update. Three is the remove number though. 753. Yeah, this takes a second. Figure out how to make this faster. There's like a setting. About time to update, I guess, as well. All right, so when you read a file in CircuitPython, if you open it with RT and then you call read on it, does anything special happen compared to if you just open it without anything, which I assume gives you R by default? That is the question. So let's get one of these. Matters really which one we choose. This was opening a template, yeah, so take comments. I'm gonna just drop it on my device. Comments.html. I'll restart just to give it a fresh state with open comments.html. We do RT coding. That's F. Say content file f.read. Such file or directory. No, I didn't put it on the device. So we get just a string, regular old string. So I don't see any reason why that's going to be any different, really. Thing I guess I didn't do was look at the content of this one. So I tested in REPL. Behavior. That one has passed now. OAuth 2. Import order, remove the pilot. F-string instead of format. F-string instead of format, now with pluses. One looks a little funky because it wrapped after the plus, but that's just GitHub interface. Same thing here. Set, docs fix, port order, single line, port order, single line. Toml, and that's the last one. All right. Engine. So that one should be fine. Let disable. It's got shrunk a bit. Single lines. Single line, single line. Probably a bunch of this is. There's the RT that got removed. Pilot disable. Single line for width. Block content. Set. Oh, those are a different RT, I guess. There's more than one of those. Lines removed. Base. There's Ruff Toml. That's the last one. Okay. So those, I believe, are the last of the stragglers. I think the next thing that I would want to do, actually over here, we want to do this again. Though it's maybe not going to change any of them because this is getting them after they release. Anyway, I think we want to do this. It shouldn't take too long because all of these I think are technically done already. While that's rolling, actually, we can open up the Adabot repo. And I need to use the release thing here, so... Python-m adabot.circuitpython library release. And then there's a -- title that you can use as well. But that's basically what we want right there. And this is going to go and find all the repos that have a new commit since their most recent release. So, i.e., anything that has been changed. Oh, yeah, okay, these are going to pull. Anything that has been changed, I guess it's gonna fetch and not pull. It's gonna pull main, but I think the submodule itself is pegged to something else. Anyway, so that's gonna find any new commits that have been made since the last release in the repo, this command we're about to run. And then it's gonna give us a nice, easy to use prompt to release them. For each direction, and also do title is use Ruff. So this will go through and run this command for every submodule. The command is AdaBot CircuitPython release, library release. What that command will do is actually check if the newest commit is after the newest release, and if it is, then it will prompt us to make a new release. Except we need to account for the fact that this like considers it a failure for if nothing happens. I can never remember the right syntax. I think we want like an or true basically. All right, that's rolling. Let's see if it. I don't know if that's gonna. I don't think that worked. That didn't work. Oh, okay. It can't find the. Okay, the submodule worked, but it can't find the command it's running, which is because we need to be in the. We need to have the AdaBot in our Python environment, which I don't. So we need to go source. Up. AdaBot. Bot. Maybe we don't need this actually. Okay, yeah, we don't need that as long as we actually have the command. All right, so a lot of these don't have any updates because basically I did the release for the first half of the libraries the other day. So we'll pick up, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of this. It will start finding the ones that aren't done yet. Oh, I never did put anything in the Discord chat today. Whoops, I just kind of got rolling. Forgot to drop the links like usual. Oh well. Just can't exactly remember where we left off. Definitely like the BLE ones should need a release once we get to the helpers. I'm surprised we haven't gotten it yet. Maybe I've got this broken. Yeah, this looks like it's not gonna work right. Some of these need releases, I'm almost positive. We can let this roll, but yeah. That not finding them though. Oh, okay, it made it to MIDI part. I mean, let's check these, I guess. Is it really not? Maybe I made it farther than I thought before? That's possible. West? I know, I mean, we need a release there. This one only went to MIDI parser. Why? Well, yeah, first of all, MIDI parser is, it would skip anyway. That's not anything to do with us. I'm gonna break out of this. This isn't working. What? A bundle workspace, submodules. Let's ran this. I mean, I don't know. When in doubt, I guess just delete it and clone it again. I don't know what the problem is. I assume that my version control is not in the exact right state somehow. I don't know what I did to wreck it, but I thought there was like there's gonna be something in here about how to get the bundle, how to clone the bundle with all the submodules. I don't know why update would not be working. Oh, we should change this to Ruff. Have anything about clone? Dude, I could have swore there was like a clone recursive or in the learn guide maybe. All right, yeah, I don't know why this is not picking these up. I'm just gonna go up one. I'm gonna delete this. Just gonna clone. That again. Hopefully this will get us to this correct state to where it's actually gonna find releases. Not sure why that didn't work before. Fortunately, it does take a second. Yeah, I should have done well, but surely the update script. Maybe just need git submodule update. Submodule recursive. Basically, I think like all of these are going to need a release. All the BLEs, bin ASCII, all of this stuff. I mean, some of these will skip, like anchored group, anchored tire grid. Those don't. Those are new. And then a bunch of these I think are gonna as well, but I just don't remember where I left off. Last time I did the releases on Thursday, maybe? What is that doing after, why is it entering all of these, I wonder? That's like another submodule for each thing. What am I doing, sir? I am like literally right now we're waiting on the CircuitPython library bundle to update all of the libraries in my local one here. I just cloned a new copy of it and we are kind of pulling all the libraries to get the latest released version. The reason that I'm doing that is I'm about to run a script that will go and check the latest released version against like the commits to find out if there are newer commits than the latest release version, and it will prompt me to make the commits. So it's like a script that makes it easy to do a sort of bulk release on the libraries, which is helpful because I've just finished up the process of converting the libraries to use Ruff as the linter in formatter, and that caused all of them to have changes for like formatting and syntax and stuff, and they all need a new release. Entering again, interesting. It like goes in multiple times. Okay, so hopefully now we can run this and it should actually pick up the ones that need it, which again, it won't be the first half here. We're gonna have to get, I think, at least down to the P's. But we'll see if it, hopefully it starts finding them around there. Yeah, let me know if that answer didn't make sense. I can expand a bit further. I don't know how much kind of pretext you have. I don't know if you know about CircuitPython already or what the libraries are, or if you have Python or not really Python, but just general like GitHub release management experience or whatever. All right, we're into the M's, and I think it won't. Okay, there we go. Okay, finally we got. So this says, I don't know if I think this might not be us actually. I'm gonna copy this. This might not be my thing. Let's look here. Yeah, this is a different thing. It needs a release, but I'm gonna skip it because it's not about Ruff. It's not from the change that I did. And that's what I put the title as. So we don't want to make a release that says something. So we just want to do skip number 4 right here. It's so high as my knowledge. So we did blow past the P's. I'm getting worried again. Okay, that one's actually already released. We were further than I thought. But I mean, some of these BLE, these are gonna need it. Or maybe that, okay, let's check BLE Eddystone. Urged use Ruff. Okay, that's released already. Okay. So file transfer, it's saying, is the newest one. Or the, yeah, the newest one in the list. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's my changes for use Ruff. Okay. So we do want to make a release for this. And I have just been doing minor tags on all of them. So we're just going to go default, bump the minor tag, which is going to bring us up to 410. We'll just enter that. And then basically these are going to start popping up much faster now, because essentially every one after this will need it. So at this point, I'm basically just going to go through and I'm watching for any that aren't familiar, because like I just changed these yesterday and the day before, so all of them are still fresh in my head. If I see one like that OV 5640 or whatever, where it was like not my change, then we'll skip it. But so far, definitely all of these I've done. Word test. So yeah, we could go, so like BLE file transfer right here, this is the first one we just did. So what I'm doing right now is making these releases. So we just got a new release 4010, and this says it was released right now. In fact, it was released a few seconds ago, but that is essentially what this script is doing. It's going through the list, it's checking if the repo needs a new release, like because there have been changes, and if it does, it's giving me this prompt and letting me either choose a version if I want to change the version, or just keep the minor version bump, and it makes the release for me. Bouncer. Yeah. All right. It does get a little repetitive from here, though. This is basically just press enter for each one. And keep a watch out for ones that I didn't actually touch. But so far, these are all nice, alphabetical in order, all ringing a bell that I definitely just touched the other day. Okay, matrix portal. Even know the order. MIDI parser I'm going to skip because that one is not my change, I think, right? That was something Liz was working on, I thought. This does need a release, it's just not a rough thing, so. And this script doesn't let me change the title on the fly, so we're just going to skip that. I'll probably end up releasing that on Monday. Yeah, we did that. Mini ESP tool, I definitely did that one. Mini, we got a couple of those. Motor kit. Neo key, yep. Neo trellis, nope. NTP. Oh, Neo trellis, I think that's a driver one though. There's OAuth too. We just finished that one up today. One wire, yep. Paste bin. POU art. POASM. Buff. Not pixel frame buff. Then pixel buff. Pixel map. Pixie. Progress bar. I guess we skipped Pixie. Oh no, Pixie I think is a driver. Yeah, we're in helpers right now, not drivers. Progress bar. Prompt toolkit. Pi camera, yes. Qualia. Register. LED. RSA. TTEL, servokit, simple text, simple IO, simple math, template engine, we did that today. X, Laura. Cool. Getting towards the end now. Mass storage, yes. Host MIDI. WSGI will be down here. I think that's the last one. Wave something else. What is it? Waveform. There you go. I think WSGI. Yep. I believe that's the end. Yep. Okay, so those now all have been released. So the next thing I'm going to do then is in this bundle, I'm going to try my update thing again. That wasn't really working for me a minute ago, but let's try it. See if this will update and find all those new releases. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll run this find pylons, although I think I pasted, no I didn't, okay. See, I think I pasted some stuff at the end. Maybe I deleted it already. Maybe it's in a different repo. So what this one will do is it tries to go through and find any libraries in the bundle that still have the pylon file. Because essentially that recent change I was doing was changing from pylon to Ruff. Part of that change, we delete the pylon.rc file. So this is like finding any that aren't done yet. You know, i.e. their pylon.rc file still exists, hasn't been deleted. And then it goes and it reads out of the pyproject.toml and it loads the project URL homepage, and then it prints it. And we'll see when I run this again, but some of them had like the generic string replace in the URL instead of the library name. So I think they either cookie cutter might have been broken for a minute and like they got generated during the time when it was broken and it has since been fixed. I think that's one possible reason. Like if it had a replace and there was supposed to be some code to go and do a replacement and it wasn't working or whatever. That could have been the culprit, or it could be maybe whenever we changed to pyproject.toml, maybe there was some script or something that was doing that and it didn't work right for a couple of them or whatever. All right, so that has updated now. Hopefully, oh yeah, we're gonna have to wait on that. That's probably gonna be a minute. 19,041. Or if I should just close this? Would it be any faster if I just close it and reopen it? I don't know. Let's give it a minute. Hopefully it won't actually scale. It won't actually take that long. Okay. Not too bad. All right, we want to run this. Okay, so it found 8. Yeah, and so these are the ones I'm talking about. Is these replace. There's a couple of these that I assume what has happened is, so they have replace in their pyproject.toml instead of the actual real name. There are a couple others here though that we can look into, like what's going on with this? Did this, maybe this didn't, maybe some of them didn't actually get the PRs created? Oh, okay, I mean, it got created, it just didn't get reviewed and merged, okay. There were some of them where I, like the way that I was doing this, I would run a script at the end to create the PR, and there were some of them I was forgetting that step on. But the way I was doing it, I was also opening the page in the browser, and so I was usually noticing that. This one must have gotten lost in the shuffle, the ruffle shuffle. We don't really need to do this, actually. I don't think it will let me approve it anyway. In this case, I'm just kind of doing them I'm kind of reviewing them, even though I am technically the one that committed it as well. Okay. So we have here, so BLE beacon. I wish this would open into here. Oh, it just does not want to go there for some reason. I'm gonna close this, I guess. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought I fixed that, or... Oh, okay. That one had also the wrong URL, but it's wrong in a different way. It doesn't have replace, it has the right name, but it is under Tektric instead of Adafruit. Oh, right, okay. So this one needs the docs updated. And then I did change the URL already. Okay. So what that's talking about, the docs updated, we'll do that real fast. Oh, I probably don't have this one. Was it BLE Beacon? No, okay. I want a new one. Okay, and then I will just grab an example one as well. So basically, somewhere along the way, we updated the way that our read the docs config does some things. And this one had the old one. It did not get updated. So the way I'm going to do it is actually just paste a whole nother repos one. It's got all of the updates in it. Then I'm going to just go to show diff here. We're going to only keep the stuff we want. So stuff we will keep. Like that. I mean, that's not a built-in CircuitPython module, so I don't know. I guess maybe we need. I mean, realistically, that should just be in. I don't know. I'm not going to change it. I don't know what's up with that. It's a little weird. Usually, this is for CircuitPython modules. That we want. So this has got collapsed to one line. We want that, but obviously we want the real author and the real library name and year and all that. Want the real name. Yeah, so this was kind of the main change. Actually, why does that not show a change? It's actually kind of weird. Usually right here is where there's one chunk that be done different. What is the actual, like... I wonder why it actually failed. Oh. Ah, shoot. I'm on main. It's terrible. Copy this. Here. To be up. I know that, though. Usually the theme is the reason for that needing to be updated, so I'm confused about why that doesn't seem to have been one of the changes. Oh, okay, that line got deleted. So it did change. Why did I was just looking at the diff. Why is there no diff here? So why is this one white and this one? That's weird though. Okay, so yeah, this was totally trying to call this thing which doesn't exist anymore. Actually really need that. And then okay, so there actually was really basically no change except for removing that. Fair enough. So let's get rid of that. Let's make sure pre-commit passes. It does. Fix docs conf. All right, that will try its build again. Hashlib. The hashlib. Oh, I wanted to test something on hashlib, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This was one of the changes, one of the few changes that I ran across throughout the process that doesn't, it looks like it could be functional, but it may not actually be, I think, because of the way it's like lambda with the same values there. It's ultimately setting it to the same function, so it should be the same, but it's like not quite just, you know, changing an import order or taking a single line to, or making a single line out a multi-line or anything like that. It's a bit more potentially functional. So this one, all right, I wanted to undo this section. Radial controller. I found where some of these opened. This is in radial controller device. And it's basically all of this. So yeah, in the old one, these were like the comments were lined up with the lines. Like this, every 2 lines, and then 3 down here. Well, not 2 lines, but 2 you know, hex values there. Bytes. And now they're split into multiple lines, which I guess Ruff wanted to do, but this is way better, frankly. The old way is way better. So we need to undo that and try to tell it to not. They want this back here to this way. So can we do, yeah, in fact it had plot thickens. It had format off, format on. So is there a rough format off? Is that a thing? Rough format off? Oh, I like literally was searching for what it would be and I happened upon the exact right value. Failed. No, that doesn't work. All right, well, so this just made that up. Did it just make this up? Well, it's not even saying Ruff there. That's not working either. This was already here. Stuff up. It says it's... All right, I'll be right back. Statement level. Could this be required to have no indentation? Thanky. So, if this is supported, why doesn't it work? Inside of the expression of this would need to be here and here. Okay. All right, daily beacon updated now and passed. Is our culprit. That was basically the thing that broke the docs. We did update this, and then Ruff Tommel, that's the last thing. Okay. This one I'll have to come back to. This is going to require a bit more. I need to basically... Really what I'm going to want to do to be sure on this one is find this section of code and like get it to run. So it's in SHA-512. I'm assuming part of the public API will call that function. And what I'll do is I'll get the Python version of the library on my device, and I'll add a print statement printing out s so that we can make sure that it's like a function, make sure that it's the function we expect, and then if it doesn't just call s immediately somewhere, I'll figure out wherever s is called, because this is like storing a function on this variable s. I'll figure out where s is called, and I'll print the result of s. We'll hopefully return something. And I'll make sure it's the same with the new code as it is the old code. But that's going to be a bit longer of a task than I really want to start right now, truthfully. So this one, though, that's now reverted. That should be good. Wow, that went really fast on the actions, actually. All right. But it looks like this already had these. They just needed to move. I guess in black, it's allowed to be inside the expression, and in Ruff, it must not be. All right, there we go. Very good. Toml, that's the last one. All right, that was that. Our Ruff docs, okay. Hashlib, the main one, and then this one was weird because it doesn't have Adafruit in the name. I don't remember exactly where I left this one, honestly. Okay, I did change it, but it failed actions. Okay, let's take a peek. Okay. Docs build. Oh, okay, it needs new HTML. I mean, it needs new docs file. I don't know. It is weird, the name on this one too, though. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened with the name 2 years ago. Okay, it looks like it's actually quite old. Oops. All right. Yeah, there's the bit that gets removed, which was calling that function, which no longer exists. So that was technically the error that was getting raised. Is either maybe it exists, but it just raises the exception or something. I think it's like deprecated. It might exist, it just doesn't work. That will keep. Pull. Okay, so basically we want all the new syntax, we want all the new bits and bobs, and like there's a couple new variables and stuff, like this thing. That obviously changed. This stuff is a little bit different. Then we want the old names. Everything else will be good. We can run pre-commit. Hold up. Oh, I've done it on main again. All right, copy this out. This out. Okay. As long as this one goes fast on the actions, I'll wait for it, and I will do a review here real fast and merge it. And then I think I'll wrap it up for the day. It'll probably still be a few minutes early, but got some other stuff to take care of. Ooh, excuse me. If anyone has questions, comments, anything like that, now's a good time to drop them in one of the chats. We could go look at the files while it's running. I've been trying to always just wait for it to go green, though, before I actually look at the files, because that way I don't have to wonder if I already looked or not. And this way, if it fails, like, we don't review files that are going to have to change again. So we do still actually have... Hashlib needs tested, and then I need to figure out these 3 replaces. These 3 replaces are the odd ones out still. Let me print the repo dir. All right, so OV7670. E7670. This is gonna have the incorrect URL for this right here. And PyBadger and PYOA also. Make issues for all of these, since I'm not going to deal with them right now. That way there's like record of them somewhere other than just randomly printed in my terminal here. The line. And these ones will... They'll need this update, and then they'll need to also get converted to Ruff, because by having this thing wrong, it means they came up wrong in my list, which means they didn't get done while I was working on them. We'll need to do those 3 still. All right, NAU, this one's done now, and it did pass. All right, samples. And change to format instead of f-string. I don't know how it decides, like sometimes it wants to use f-string, sometimes it's cool with format. I don't know how it decides between those. All right, one. All right, and did I make this one? And then I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. It's a couple minutes early, but like I said, I'm gonna run out, take care of some other stuff. So thanks to anyone watching. Thanks to everyone who popped up in the chat over on YouTube. Had a couple folks asking some questions over there. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has a good rest of your Saturday, a good weekend. I should be back next week at the usual time, so we'll be deep diving on Friday afternoon, and we should be back at the usual time here on my channel, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, with some more CircuitPython development. Until then, I will bid you farewell. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.